Hey everyone, TG Watkins here from simplertrading.com, and this is your Daily 5. Alright, so one of the first charts that I wanted to show you was the IWM, and what you'll notice here is this is going to be the weekly, and then the daily. We've got that kind of cut off right there. You go, there's the daily. And part of what I wanted to be showing, and a lot of times I've been also relating to the FFTY, which is the IBD 50. These two look very similar. I know they're very different, but they look very similar as far as what they've been doing. And for the IWM, we had a recent double bottom on the weekly chart. You can also see that on the daily chart as price came into the daily 200 here. And the biggest thing that I'm noticing is that price is now over the daily 50, which is this magenta color line. So it has been a while since we've had that. We did get it back here, but then tried to bounce and it didn't hold, and that kind of got us into this funky area again. And what we've been doing for the last 6 months basically is price has just been going sideways in this range. And what we're trying to do is figure out, is the IWM eventually going to break out? And if it does, I'm looking at a better participation for the market. We should have better breadth in that case. Because right now we know that there's kind of bad breadth out there. Not a whole lot of stocks are keeping the market up. It's just a handful. And if we can see the IWM start to participate, then that should be better for the market. And a lot of times what I look for is price to get up over the, say, a moving average, basically get over resistance, and then I want to see it come back down to test that resistance and test it for support. So we're not quite there yet, it's not confirmed, but I'm looking at price pulling back into the daily 50 and the daily 21, and I'm trying to see if this is going to eventually be support. So we're going to have to give it some time and see if that happens. And then as far as the Moxie indicator goes, what I've been looking for is we've been seeing it kind of trend down, but now we're starting to see it trend up and trend up a little bit further. It's still got some work to do, but I want to watch this and see if this is going to keep moving to the upside as price finds support at, say, the daily 50. The other thing we're looking at, what is keeping me bullish on this, is that here on the weekly chart, the 8 EMA is still over the 21 EMA on the weekly chart. That's the blue line over the purple line. And as long as that pretty much maintains and persists, then it's still technically bullish because the fast moving average is over the slow moving average. And so it can take a while for this to happen because it's a weekly time frame, but that is something to keep an eye on. So then we go over to here. The other thing that I've been seeing in the market recently is a bunch of high short interest names starting to pop up. This is basically called a short squeeze. When there's a lot of people short, the only way for them to get out is to buy the stock back. And so if a stock is starting to go up under its own volition because people are buying it, well then people who are short, and if there's a large number of them who are short, then it's like adding fuel to the fire, and when they need to get out, they need to buy, and so it's like double buying. And what you can see is we've started to see a lot of volume come into this one, and a lot of volume start to come into this. And you can see here up now, just a lot of volume's been coming into this name. And so you're like, uh-oh, people are getting in trouble who are short, and we're starting to see pressure come up in here. So I started to watch this name right about in through here. And then we got the Moxie group into it about, $6.5. And then we actually added more the other day right here. It just looked really, really good. And this has actually been a pretty good run on this one. We took some profits right here. I believe that was yesterday. And today, as I'm watching it, it's all the way up to about $12 or so. So it went up here and even a little bit higher. So we started to cash out a little bit more for about a 75% gain. And so this one was really quite nice for us. And what I want to show you is that, we've seen that price just kept staying above the hourly 50. You can see here the 8 stayed over the 21 in a couple different situations. And even here on the daily chart, the 8 started to cross over the 21 and price started to get past the daily 50. So very, very nice, smooth trading on this one. Even on the 15-minute time frame, this is where we added more because price stayed over the 15-minute 50 and started to move up like this. Real good. And then we even had a squeeze in through here. That's when we went in right there on that squeeze. And so then you can see all that volume come in and just start to push price up there. So pretty easy trade on ATER. And then the next one is GDRX, Goodrx. Now, we didn't take a trade on this, but I've been using this one as a bit of a roadmap for the next one that I'm going to be showing you. So again, another high short interest name. They can be a little bit risky because sometimes the short interest is correct and they keep going down. But for something like this, there was earnings. I like to wait till after earnings. And I'll show you that this, even though price popped on earnings, there was definitely a second entry into this. And so you can see that right in through here. Price pulled back. And so What I call this for the Moxie trading system is a trampoline move. It's when price is below the 50, which is that purple color line, and the Moxie indicator is above 0. That's a high pressure, high buoyancy type trade. It's like trying to push a beach ball underneath the water, and then you just have it shoot back up, or just like a trampoline, you're jumping onto the trampoline and then it shoots you back up. So trampoline move, and that looked out pretty nicely. On the daily chart, what that looked like was a nice pullback into the daily 21 as price was starting to cross over the daily 50. The Moxie indicator was already above 0. Everything was pretty good on this one. And then for even more precision, where price pulled back into the daily 21, did the trampoline move on the hourly, the exact moment that you could get this is when price got back over the 15-minute 50 and the Moxie indicator was over 0 and looking good. For the most part, followed the 15-minute time frame, and it also stayed above the hourly 50 right there and then just kept moving up. So, as I said, we didn't take this one, but it's a roadmap for what I see in this next one, which is Root. And Root is still just kind of chopping around today. And we did take a little bit of a position on this one. And here's another formation that I like to teach and educate about. It's called the elf shoe. And you look at this, you kind of say, oh, it kind of looks like a leg, right? Here's the leg, here's the heel, this is the arch of the foot, that's the ball of the foot, and what we're looking for is that curly Q on a typical elf toe, elf shoe, and that is price moving up. A lot of times what this really just looks like is a double bottom right there. And then this is also a high short interest name, and you can see that there's starting to become some volume that is starting to come into this. And it's like, this might be something that we want to be aware of. And if we can get that short squeeze, then this could be a good mover, kind of like ATER and GDRX. The other thing I've been noticing is this is a trampoline move. So just as I showed you on GDRX, price coming down below the hourly 50, but the Moxie indicator above 0, that's a high pressure, high buoyancy type trade. And then when you also match it with what I see here on the daily chart, which is the elf shoe or the double bottom, then this is looking pretty good. And what we can also see is that price, even though it came down, shot right back up. So far, the trampoline move is alive and well. And the only other thing that we're kind of watching right now is to see if price can generally stay above the 15-minute 50. The Moxie indicator here is looking pretty good, and we'll see if this thing can start to, flag sideways and stay above the 15-minute, the hourly 50 in that case. The only other situation is the 200, which is this orange color line, and so far it's over that, so that's great. And then we got the Moxie price trigger firing right there, so that's good on that time frame. And then we've got a squeeze on the daily, and then we've had a squeeze on the hourly that's fired and starting to release that energy. So Root, it's going to be a tricky one. It's still kind of risky, but it seems to have all the fixings that good GDRX and ATER have in some of these other short squeezes that we've been looking at. Now, since we tend to always show you ones that are really good or working out or something like that, I thought it would be refreshing to show you something that didn't work out for us this week, and that would be Riot. Now, Riot is a Bitcoin miner, and as we know, Bitcoin is kind of pulling back. I think ever since the, El Salvador situation. That was like the ultimate buy the rumor, sell the news type deal, and that seemed to have denoted a top in Bitcoin. So Riot and some other Bitcoin miners were starting to roll over. What I looked at for this one when we originally got in was I was looking for price to pull back into the daily 50 here and then flag sideways and then start to move up like that on the daily chart. And I wanted to see then the Moxie indicator fire. It was very, very close to actually crossing over 0 and firing, and we had squeezes and everything like that. And then on the hourly chart, what I was looking for is I wanted to see price come into the hourly 50 like that with the Moxie indicator above 0 and get a squeeze that fired, and I wanted to see this thing kind of go sideways and then shoot up like that and break out. Well, it didn't want to, it didn't do that, and there were a couple clues to show us ahead of time what that was doing, that this was starting to look a little bit unlikely to move. And one of that was here on the 15-minute, you can see the Moxie indicator was not looking too strong. It was below 0, starting to trend down, and you could see that just before it broke lower, price got underneath the 15-minute 50 and got pushed down by the 15-minute 50. And then on the hourly chart, you can see price got underneath the hourly 50 with the 8 below the 21, and everything was starting to look bearish on these time frames. And then that's what caused price to come down like this. So little clues, little details. I like to say if you're going to follow the trend, price needs to be either above or below moving averages in order to follow that trend. And in this case, it went to the downside. and we got stopped out on it, and along with Bitcoin and those related stocks. So wanted to show you the anatomy of something that didn't work out. All right, so that is your Daily 5. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And if you have any other questions, my name is TG Watkins over at simplertrading.com. And if you're interested in the free newsletter that I write twice a week, you can check it out over here. And then on the socials, we got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Go ahead and just click these links if you guys are interested and come follow along and see what I'm posting out there. And then if you guys are interested in finding out more about what the trading service is and what's involved, we do have live trading with it. So we do that once a month, interactive Q&A. I'm always in the chat room. And then we send out real-time text alerts. I'm very chatty with my subscribers so they know exactly what's going on and what I'm thinking in my head. And then we get a bunch of downloads, a lot of information, a lot of education out there. And we do post all the trades. So we got the trade spreadsheet, and then again, talking about that newsletter. So thanks again for tuning in, and I do appreciate you guys checking out a few minutes this morning.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.